Navy plans to expand its emerging over-the-horizon ship-launched cruise missile defense technology to a wider range of airborne sensor platforms beyond an E-2D Hawkeye and Marine Corps F-35B, to possibly include the Navy's own carrier-launched stealthy F-35C and F-A-18 Super Hornets, service officials said. Citing comments from the Navy's Program Executive Office Integrated Warfare Systems Manager for Future Combat Systems, a report from the U.S. Naval Institute News detailed some Navy plans to further modernize a fire control system known as Naval Integrated Fire Control, Counter-Air, or NIFCCA. The Navy is already building, deploying and testing a fleet of upgraded DDG-51 Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers with NIFCCA, as a way to bring an ability to detect and destroy incoming enemy anti-ship cruise missiles at farther ranges from beyond the horizon. The technology enables ship radar to connect with an airborne sensor platform to detect approaching enemy anti-ship cruise missiles from beyond the horizon and, if needed, launch an SM-6 missile to intercept and destroy the incoming threat, Navy officials said. NIFCCA has previously operated using an E-2D Hawkeye surveillance plane as an aerial sensor node. It has also been successfully tested from a land-based desert ship at White Sands Missile Range, NM, from an F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. Should the Navy's future plans materialize, the system would expand further to include the F-A-18 and F-35C. NIFCCA gives Navy ships the ability to extend the range of an interceptor missile and extend the reach sensors by netting different sensors of different platforms, both sea-based and air, together into one fire control system, Navy officials told Scout Warrior in a previous interview. NIFCCA was previously deployed on a Navy cruiser serving as part of the Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group in the Arabian Gulf. Operating NIFCCA from an F-35B improves the sensor technology, reach, processing speed and air maneuverability of the system. The test also assessed the ability of the system to identify and destroy air-to-air and air-to-surface targets. A report from earlier this year from the U.S. Naval Institute News quoted Lockheed officials saying an at-sea assessment of this NIFCCA F-35 pairing is planned for 2018. NIFCCA has previously operated using an E-2D Hawkeye surveillance plane as an aerial sensor node. The use of an F-35B improves the sensor technology, reach, processing speed and air maneuverability of the system. The test also assessed the ability of the system to identify and destroy air-to-air and air-to-surface targets. A multi-target ability requires some adjustments to fire control technology, sensors and dual missile firings. The SM-6 is somewhat unique in its ability to fire multiple weapons in rapid succession. An SM-6 is engineered with an active seeker, meaning it can send an electromagnetic targeting ping forward from the missile itself, decreasing reliance on a ship illuminator and improving the ability to fire multiple interceptor missiles simultaneously. Unlike an SM-3, which can be used for terminal-phase ballistic missile defense at much farther ranges, the SM-6 can launch nearer inoffensive and defensive attacks against closer threats such as approaching enemy anti-ship cruise missiles. With an aerial sensor networked into the radar and fire control technology such as an E-2D Hawkeye surveillance plane, the system can track approaching enemy cruise missile attacks much farther away. This provides a unique, surface warfare closer in defensive and offensive weapons technology to complement longer-range ship ballistic missile defense technologies. Once operational, this expanded interceptability will better defend surface ships operating in the proximity or range of enemy missiles by integrating an ability to destroy multiple approaching attacks at one time. NIFCCA is part of an overall integrated air and missile defense high-tech upgrade now being installed and tested on existing and new DDG-51 ships called Aegis Baseline 9. The system hinges upon an upgraded ship radar and computer system referred to as Aegis Radar, designed to provide defense against long-range incoming ballistic missiles from space as well as near-in threats such as anti-ship cruise missiles, he explained. Developers said integrated air and missile defense provides an ability to defend against ballistic missiles in space while at the same time countering air threats to naval and joint forces close to the sea. The NIFCCA technology can, in concept, be used for both defensive and offensive operations, Navy officials have said. Having this capability could impact discussion about a Pentagon term referred to as anti-access area denial, wherein potential adversaries could use long-range weapons to threaten the U.S. military and prevent its ships from operating in certain areas, such as closer to the coastline. Having NIFC-CA could enable surface ships, for example, to operate more successfully closer to the shore of potential enemy coastlines without being deterred by the threat of long-range missiles. Defensive applications of NIFC-CA would involve detecting and knocking down an approaching enemy anti-ship missile, whereas offensive uses might include efforts to detect and strike high-value targets from farther distances than previous technologies could. The possibility for offensive use parallels with the Navy's emerging distributed lethality strategy, wherein surface ships are increasingly being outfitted with newer upgraded weapons. The new strategy hinges upon the realization that the U.S. Navy no longer enjoys the unchallenged maritime dominance it had during the post-Cold War years. During the years following the collapse of the former Soviet Union, the U.S. Navy shifted its focus from possibly waging blue water combat against a near-peer rival to focusing on things such as counterterrorism, anti-piracy and board search and seizure or VBSS techniques.